Gardner in Speech 1311. These are my verbal citations, and this is my speech outline. And this is my audience. What does it take for a man to become the founding father of Texas? Today I'm going to discuss Stephen F. Austin and his unconventional story. From his early childhood before Texas to how he established himself in Texas and the relationship he had with the Mexican government, and finally to the influences he had over the major battles in the Texas Revolution that ultimately led to Texas declaring independence from Mexico. Stephen F. Austin was son of Moses Austin, born in Virginia in 1793. Moses Austin was a businessman, and he encouraged his son to get a college education so that he could follow him in his business ventures. And follow him he did. However, most of these business ventures were unsuccessful. Facing financial ruin, Stephen F. Austin made the decision to move to New Orleans, which was the commerce capital of the South at that time. According to Greg Cantrell in his journal article, The Partnership of Stephen F. Austin and Joseph H. Hawking, when Austin moved to New Orleans in the fall of 1820, it was the action of a man in near desperate financial strait. Instead of rescuing the Austin family from financial disaster, Stephen Austin fell deeply into debt along with his father. After being in New Orleans, he met and befriended a man named Joseph Hawking, who later was an investor in one of his father's business ventures to bring settlers to Texas. Originally, Stephen was not on board with this investment, given him and his father's business background. However, when his father died, he felt the full responsibility of his family and his widowed mother to take up what his father had started. Therefore, Stephen F. Austin signed the contract with Joseph H. Hawking and started for Texas to go and finish what his father had begun. When Stephen F. Austin first got into Texas, he recorded his first impression of the Texas landscape. In his personal journal, he said, "This red land is very productive and is covered with the most luxuriant growth of grass I have ever beheld in any country. Almost any would produce as much wheat as the best meadows." This was his first encouragement and his first inspiration to make this land prosperous. In the next couple of years, Stephen F. Austin became a public servant, not only to the colonists, but also to the Mexicans that lived within his region. In fact, he defended in 1826 the Mexicans against their land, against another American settler named Hayden Edwards. Ultimately, they won that defeat, and Hayden Edwards was driven out of Texas. The relationship between Stephen F. Austin and his people was very important to him. Equally as important was his relationship between Texas and the Mexican government. Hence why he continuously went to Mexico City to maintain that kind of relationship for the prosperity of the Texans. It wasn't until Mexico started entering civil war and the constant threat of regime change in Mexico made it a threat to Texas, and Stephen F. Austin started to consider annexation. However, he highly disparaged any war against Mexico. He believed that he would be able to go to Mexico City and peacefully negotiate the annexation of Texas with diplomacy. After 2 years of trying to fight for Texas rights and in a tumultuous government, as the Mexicans were at that time, he ultimately had to acknowledge the truth. As stated in Stephen F. Austin and the Independence of Texas, Austin wrote to the local representatives of Bear, stating his belief that no reforms were to be gained from the Mexican government, and urging them to take the lead in declaring Texas a separate state. In September 21st of 1835, Stephen F. Austin wrote to his colleagues in Washington, D.C., stating that Texas was at war with Mexico. Though the United States could not interfere because of treaties they had with Mexico, the United States still gave their support and encouragement to Stephen F. Austin and the other Texans in the Texas Revolution. Though Stephen F. Austin was not physically present at pivotal battles such as the Battle of the Alamo or the Battle of San Jacinto, both battles were commanded by men that were self-appointed by Stephen F. Austin before he even left Mexico City. If Stephen F. Austin had not purposely appointed these men, no one knows how these battles would have turned out. Today, Stephen F. Austin is revered as one of the founding fathers of this republic. It is no wonder why Texans today have the exact same pride in the land and in the people, be them Mexicans or settlers, that have come into Texas and made the state what it is today.